Imagine waking up one day and realizing that every dollar you earn actually belongs to you. No credit card bills waiting at the door, no debt collectors calling. No anxiety when your phone buzzes with a bank notification. Just peace, financial peace. For millions of people, that moment feels impossible. But according to Dave Ramsey in his book The Total Money Makeover, it's not impossible at all. In fact, it's completely achievable if you're willing to change the way you think about money and commit to a simple but powerful plan. Most people believe financial success requires complex investment strategies, secret stock tips, or a high-paying job, but Dave Ramsey argues the opposite. The real problem isn't math, it's behavior. Personal finance is only about 20% knowledge and 80% behavior. People know they shouldn't spend more than they earn, yet they still do. They know debt is stressful, yet they keep swiping credit cards. The issue isn't information, the issue is discipline. The Total Money Makeover begins by confronting one of the biggest lies society tells us about money, that debt is normal. From student loans to car payments to credit cards, modern culture treats debt like a regular part of life. Banks encourage it, advertisements glamorize it. Friends normalize it, but Ramsey calls debt exactly what it is, a trap. He believes debt steals your freedom. When you owe money to someone else, your income is no longer yours. Every paycheck is already partially owned by lenders. That means your future decisions are limited. You can't take risks, you can't pursue dreams. You're constantly working to pay for yesterday's choices. Ramsey shares countless stories of families drowning in debt, people who earn good incomes but still live paycheck to paycheck. Their garages are full of expensive cars they don't actually own. Their houses are filled with furniture purchased on credit. And every month they juggle bills, hoping nothing unexpected happens. But here's the truth Ramsey wants readers to understand. You cannot borrow your way into prosperity. Debt doesn't build wealth, it delays it. The moment you decide that debt is no longer acceptable in your life, everything begins to change. And that decision is the first step in what Ramsey calls the Total Money Makeover. Instead of complicated financial theories, Ramsey introduces a simple step-by-step plan known as the 7 baby steps. These steps are designed to transform a person's financial life gradually, building momentum along the way. The first step is surprisingly small but incredibly powerful. Save $1,000 for an emergency fund. At first, that number might not seem life-changing. But Ramsey explains that most financial crises aren't massive disasters. They're small emergencies, a car repair, a broken appliance, a medical bill. Without savings, people usually turn to credit cards when these things happen. And that keeps them trapped in the debt cycle. Having even a small emergency fund creates a protective barrier between you and your debt. It gives you breathing room, it gives you control. Once that safety net is in place, Ramsey moves to the second step, which is where the real transformation begins. Pay off all your debt using what he calls the debt snowball method. Instead of focusing on interest rates, Ramsey recommends listing all debts from smallest to largest. Then you aggressively attack the smallest one first while making minimum payments on the rest. When the smallest debt is eliminated, you move to the next one, adding the payment you were already making. Like a snowball rolling downhill, the payments grow bigger and bigger until eventually the largest debt is destroyed. Mathematically, this may not always be the fastest method, but Ramsey insists that behavior matters more than math. People need motivation, they need quick wins. Paying off the smallest debts first builds momentum and confidence. Each victory makes the next one easier. The emotional impact of becoming debt-free piece by piece is powerful. It turns a hopeless situation into a visible path forward. As families follow this strategy, something remarkable happens. They begin to feel hope again. Ramsey shares stories of couples who started with tens of thousands of dollars in debt and felt completely overwhelmed. But once they began eliminating debts one by one, their mindset shifted. They started believing freedom was possible, and belief changes behavior. The third step in the Total Money Makeover plan comes after all consumer debt is gone. This step is building a fully funded emergency fund equal to 3 to 6 months of living expenses. At this point, something amazing occurs. The stress that once dominated daily life begins to disappear. Unexpected events no longer feel catastrophic because there is a financial cushion ready to absorb the impact. Ramsey describes this stage as reaching a level of stability most people never experience. Instead of constantly reacting to financial problems, you begin preparing for the future. And that future leads to the fourth step, investing 15% of your income for retirement. Now that debt is gone and emergencies are covered, money can finally start working for you instead of against you. Ramsey encourages long-term investing through retirement accounts and mutual funds, emphasizing patience and consistency rather than risky speculation. The idea is simple: over time, compound growth turns steady investments into substantial wealth. But the key is discipline. The earlier you start and the longer you stay committed, the more powerful the results become. Next comes baby step 5, which focuses on saving for children's college education. Ramsey believes parents should help their children avoid the student loan trap that burdens so many young adults today. By planning early and saving gradually, families can give their children a powerful financial head start without sacrificing their own stability. Then comes baby step 6, paying off your home early. For many people, a mortgage is the largest debt they will ever carry. Ramsey's philosophy challenges the idea that keeping a mortgage forever is normal. Instead, he encourages people to eliminate it as quickly as possible. Imagine owning your home completely. No monthly payments, no bank controlling your property. That level of freedom changes how you experience life. Finally, the seventh and final step represents the ultimate financial destination: build wealth and give generously. At this stage, money is no longer a source of stress or survival, it becomes a tool for impact. Ramsey believes true financial success isn't just about accumulating wealth, but about using it to help others. People who reach this step often discover that generosity brings a deeper sense of fulfillment than any luxury purchase ever could. Throughout the book, Ramsey emphasizes that achieving financial freedom requires more than following steps. It requires changing deeply rooted beliefs about money. One of the most important mindset shifts is learning to live below your means. Modern culture constantly pushes people to upgrade their lifestyle. A bigger house, a newer car, more expensive gadgets. But Ramsey argues that chasing status through spending is one of the fastest ways to stay broke. Wealthy people, he explains, often live surprisingly simple lives. They focus on saving and investing rather than impressing others. Another key lesson from the book is the power of intensity. Ramsey encourages people to approach debt elimination with what he calls gazelle intensity. The image comes from a gazelle running from a predator with absolute focus and urgency. When a gazelle is being chased, it doesn't jog casually, it runs with everything it has. Ramsey believes people should treat their financial problems the same way. Instead of slowly chipping away at debt over decades, they should attack it aggressively. That might mean selling unused items, taking extra jobs, cutting unnecessary expenses, and temporarily sacrificing luxuries. The process isn't always comfortable, but it's temporary, and the reward on the other side is freedom. One of the most powerful themes in the Total Money Makeover is the idea that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary financial results. Ramsey isn't talking about millionaires who inherited wealth or entrepreneurs who built billion-dollar companies. He's talking about teachers, mechanics, nurses, and small business owners who simply followed a disciplined plan. Their secret wasn't luck. It was consistency. By refusing to accept debt as normal and by steadily applying the baby steps, these families gradually transformed their financial futures. Ramsey also addresses one of the most common excuses people use to avoid changing their habits: the belief that they don't earn enough. While income certainly matters, Ramsey points out that many high-income households still struggle financially because they spend everything they make. Meanwhile, some families with modest incomes manage to build wealth because they control their spending and prioritize saving. In other words, financial success isn't determined by how much money you earn. It's determined by what you do with the money you have. Another powerful insight from the book is the importance of community and accountability. Ramsey encourages people to involve their families in the financial transformation process. Couples should work together, discuss goals openly, and support each other through the challenges. When everyone in the household understands the vision of financial freedom, sacrifices feel more meaningful and progress becomes a shared victory. Ramsey's approach may sound simple, but simplicity is its strength. Instead of overwhelming readers with complex financial jargon, he focuses on clear principles anyone can understand. Spend less than you earn, avoid debt, save consistently. Invest for the long term and give generously. These ideas aren't revolutionary, but when practiced consistently, they become life-changing. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of the Total Money Makeover is the transformation that happens not just financially, but emotionally. People who once felt trapped by debt begin to experience hope again. They stop fearing the future, they start dreaming again. Money stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a tool for building a meaningful life. And that brings us to the heart of Dave Ramsey's message. Financial freedom isn't reserved for the wealthy elite. It's available to anyone willing to change their habits and commit to a clear plan. The road may require sacrifice, it may demand discipline. But step by step, dollar by dollar, the transformation begins. One paid-off debt leads to another, one saved dollar leads to another. One wise decision builds momentum for the next. Until one day you look around and realize something incredible. The stress that once controlled your life is gone. Your income is finally yours, your future is finally yours. And that is the true meaning of the Total Money Makeover, because in the end, this book isn't just about money. It's about freedom, freedom from debt, freedom from stress, freedom to build the life you truly want, and the journey toward that freedom begins with a single decision. The decision to stop living like everyone else today so that tomorrow you can live like no one else.